Welcome to the new season of KET Talks, the podcast of KET Magazine. I'm Philippe and I'm also your host. And to start this second season of KET Talks, I thought, let's bring my best squirrel friends around the table. So, the Queen of Budapest and the Empress of Saint Boniface. Bogat, how have you been since the end of last season?
Hello. I'm very good, thank you. I was busy. I started to play water polo again this September, so I was very happy to see everyone, and I'm happy to see you guys here. And we are kicking in with the second season of KET Talks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yay. Welcome, and also welcome to the most famous beard of the central of France and the queer brains of Brussels, Vincent. How excited are you to start this new season with us?
Well, after this very kind introduction, I feel suddenly very excited and very ready to start.
See? And then the vibes of Zagreb and musical sensation in Brussels, Vjeran. How ready are you?
Absolutely ready, especially with this announcement. I feel so special. Thank you. I'm super happy to join you again for the second season.
But you guys are all special to me.
Aww.
And for the people listening to us, of course. So, I don't know if you noticed, but winter is arriving.
Oh,
well,
really?
Winter has arrived.
Yeah. And that's why I thought it was interesting to talk about holiday season.
All right.
So,
go ahead.
Do you
talk
like
about it?
Yeah. So, how do you feel about this holiday season in general? Do you look forward to it?
I can tell you, I don't look forward to winter, and I don't necessarily look forward to holiday season. But the one thing that does make me happy is endless amounts of food, alcohol, and sometimes the bright lights. That's about it. Full stop. Next. I don't like winter. I don't like anything about it. Like, I don't understand people that tell you, yeah, I mean, if you're cold, you can just put another layer and then keep yourself warm. But in summer, when it's so hot, you cannot get out of your skin. No, like if somebody tells you that, they cannot be your friend. They cannot be my friends, at least. I don't understand them. I just think they're psychopaths.
You're such a true Croatian spirit.
Yeah.
Sunny and beachy and all of this that you like. Wow. I'm actually quite okay with winter, so I'm sorry, but we can still stay friends, I hope, after this. I'm looking forward not to work in my holiday season. But I think, yeah, for some people it can be quite difficult, but we can talk about it later maybe.
And for me, well, I used to look forward to holiday season a lot when I was younger. Now that I'm a bit older, just a bit older, I would say that I'm not looking forward to it as much as I used to.
Comes with age.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see my nephews and nieces enjoying it, but for myself, I'm a little bit less excited. It's still nice to go back to France and see friends and families. So it's a good opportunity to do that. But yeah, it's more than that than the holiday. And I'm not looking forward to big meals, endless meals.
You don't like eating?
I like eating, but every day for like 2 weeks, it's a little bit of overeating, I think.
Goals.
You will see. You will see in a few years.
Yeah.
Pierre,
Right.
But you think that Christmas dinners, for instance, because a lot of people celebrate Christmas, not everyone, but the one who goes back to their family is to celebrate Christmas. You think it's a queer-friendly celebration?
Well, for me, it's been a bit difficult for a long time. I'm not coming from a queer family, very traditional, very Catholic. So, of course, we celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Christmas with my whole mother's family, which is a lot of uncles, aunts, and cousins. So it's not that the atmosphere is bad. It's just always the feeling of not fitting completely. With my cousins who get married, have children, and I'm not. So it's always this feeling of being a little bit off with the people that I like and I love. That was always a bit difficult, and also the fact of maybe going back to the closet when I was not out to my family. So this feeling that you're a little bit away from them in a way, or not completely truthful with them. That is always in the back of your mind in a way. when on your normal life you have queer friends and you have a queer life, suddenly going back home is a little bit going back maybe in the closet. But now that I'm out, of course it has changed, not completely, but it's a bit different, I would say.
Same for you guys?
Yeah, I can relate to that as well. For me, I'm not giving much thought about Christmas in general, but I think it's because when I was a kid, it was so magical and it was something special. And then suddenly around my early adolescence, you started to feel that you're a little bit different. And after that, I understood that I kind of have to hide myself, or I cannot be 100% myself. And then all of these family gatherings, they really became very scary and stressful, and I became very anxious about them. And that's now I feel it, because every time when I go home, those memories coming up instead of the magical ones, when you were like 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever. And now when I'm thinking of Christmas, it's this, sitting around the table and just trying to hold it together, trying not to give any signs to others, or not even touching on the topics of love and relationships or whatever, because, at that time I was really, really self-conscious. And in that time it was hard, as a teenager. It was hard to sit through these hour-long dinners and family gatherings, and kind of trying to be very small and hide yourself and not be visible. And now when I go home, I feel that a little bit. I'm out again, as Vincent said. I'm also out with my family, but there is a disconnection, because the life I'm living here, my parents not necessarily understand every part of it, and I miss my queerness in a way when I'm at home. I miss my queer friends, my gay friends. It's different. It's really different.
I can relate also to how I felt about Christmas in the past, but also how it has changed with years. Not to talk about previous Christmases, because it pretty much looked the same as your two, but lately we've had a little bit more of a queer Christmas in the family, especially because last Christmas my brother brought his boyfriend to the Christmas lunch and dinner, and it's like with a narrow, smaller family, so mom and sister included. It was different later with the aunts and the mom sisters, so it's always a bit, you have to tone it down for them. But I am happy that I can see changes in my family and changes in the attitude, and that I know that this year when I come with my boyfriend to sit at the table for Christmas, that I won't have to tone it down, and that I will not have to hide or dread the question of a relationship or love life or anything like that. So Christmas maybe in the beginning, well, not maybe, for sure in the beginning it wasn't queer-friendly holiday, but now it has certainly turned into, certainly queer-friendly holiday, because we do sing Mariah Carey together, and nothing says queer more than Mariah and her twins. And I'm not talking about her children.
Do you think that Mariah made Christmas more queer?
She made Christmas.
She makes everything more queer, I mean, Mariah is an icon, and she can make everything more.
There's a reason, like Mariah is the version of a name Mary. Mary gave birth to Jesus. We're celebrating Jesus, so this is just a modern take on that. This is really, she's a modern Mary.
Well, then I will try that for my Christmas dinner and Christmas lunch.
Sing Mariah?
Yeah,
I will try.
It will work.
No, but maybe, I think what Bogat was saying actually reminded me a lot of my past family meetings, especially Christmas and these gatherings, and how it was harder than I remember them, actually, because of course I have tons of cousins, so it was big family gathering, and my cousins from my village, they would bring their girlfriend, and of course everybody, all my aunts and cousins are asking, so do you have a girlfriend, do you have someone, and you spend your time trying to avoid this question or hide if it's asked. So it was uncomfortable for a lot of.
But did it get better for all of us?
It did. I think it did, because also, even in my village, my small village where I come from, things have changed tremendously in the last 20 years. The perception of my family members to, you know, LGBT issues, LGBTQI plus people is completely different. Even, I would say, even if in the way they formulate it, it's not always the best, but it shows the best intentions.
Yeah.
So in the discussion that I have with them now, we talk about it sometimes, not all the time, but I have these discussions, and they try to show that they are, you know, they are welcoming and they are accepting, and this also help to change my perception of these family meetings for the better.
But that's why I think it's interesting to talk about also whether we should, you know, some people when they go home they cannot really be out with their families because it's a hostile environment, and I think we all need to take some precautions. You know, when we go home, we need to analyze the situation, whether it's safe enough for us to be open with everyone, or sometimes, you know, we have to make a decision to go back to the closet. So it's, you know, it's a really a personal choice, and it should be a personal choice. And I think we really have to be careful when we advise directly, like, oh, but, you know, now that you're out, just, you know, be out all the time. And I think it should be really a personal choice.
Yeah.
And it has to be taken with some cautionary measures. And but I think it's super important to mention that some of us, you know, have mixed feelings about holiday seasons.
Exactly.
And whatever the feeling is, you shouldn't repress it. You just, you know, you just give into it. You get connected with your emotions, whether it's like happiness, joy, or sadness or anger, you know, because this is you, this is part of you, and if you repress it, you know, it's going to be even more difficult to get through those holiday
and there's also
seasons.
like members of our community who stay alone during this season.
Well, maybe to add to what Bogat was saying, it's also a lot of pressure, because I think from a family perspective, the holidays is really the time you have to go home.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be there. There's this kind of social family pressure on you. And I think it's important to say that it's okay not to go, you know.
Amen.
If you don't feel like it, if you feel uncomfortable, it's also your choice to say, no, I'm not coming. And I know it happened to me because it's a big pressure in my family to be there for Christmas. But some years, I decided to say, no, I'm not coming. I'm not going to be there because I'm going on holidays. I'm going with my queer friends on holidays. And it was hard, but I was very happy because it was also a choice for myself to feel safe, to feel, you know, in an environment with people that I love also. And I think the fact that we queer people usually have chosen family is also a decision that we make to go to our family or to spend the holidays with our chosen family, and to make our family understand that, which sometimes is a bit complicated also.
I was going to say the same. I prefer from far celebrating season with my chosen family. Even if I like my family too, but it's not the same, right?
Yeah, there's a different understanding. There's a different ambience.
If it just makes you feel more at ease, then of course naturally you want to spend these holidays that cherish the togetherness with people who you feel at most at peace and who you feel most connected to. And that doesn't necessarily mean your biological family.
So what about at home, guys? Do you have like a Christmas tree?
We have the queer. We have actually had the queerest Christmas tree. Even before I knew what queer was, before I knew how gay flag looked like, my family always had the most tacky, most colorful, but most wonderful at the same time Christmas tree with the gigantic star on top that would touch the ceiling.
But isn't every tree a bit like
like
tacky?
my godmothers would always be like, one year it would be in purple tones or one year it would be in red tones. It looked like sometimes of a shopping mall, which is perfectly fine. I like monochrome, but not those horrible Melania trees that looked like from some horror movie. Not those trees, but it was missing some kind of warmth. This had everything: angels, snowflakes, rainbows, you name it, it had it. Candles, unicorns, our names on it, everything.
When I was a kid, I just loved it until I was 12 or 13,
Mm-hmm.
and then thought it was people will see that I'm gay because it's very gay to decorate
Yeah.
the Christmas tree, and then I just like stopped.
Well,
Yeah.
for a long time, I was the one taking care of the decoration at my place and
Yeah.
at my grandma's also. So I was organizing to go to my grandma's to decorate the full house. So she would complain all the time, saying like, "You don't put more," and I would put like everything everywhere, and it was lights and blinking, and yeah. So I mean, for me, it was maybe a way of expressing who I was also, because
Yeah.
I liked it to be decorated and people to enjoy the lights and the decoration. So
It's a bit putting your house in drag.
a little
Wow.
bit.
No,
Wow.
no, it's not. It's not. No, I can tell you it's not. 'Cause I hate it. I hate the decorations. I hate the lights. I hate the time that
Really?
I have to spend to look in the box, the broken Christmas things. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I
I
just,
also
it gives
don't
me
like it.
anxiety
I understand
just
that.
to think about it. I mean, if someone does it for me, fine. It can be there, for a limited time. But honestly, it really gives me anxiety to even just think of like, what decoration goes with what and where do I have to put it? No, it's really.
Who would have thought that Bogat is a Grinch?
Oh yeah,
Who would have thought?
I am.
But
I
maybe
am.
Yeah,
Bogat,
exactly.
Bogat, you don't like Christmas decorations, but you definitely must have a favorite Christmas song.
No, I don't.
He doesn't.
I hate
What?
them all. Burn them all. Burn them. Bury them. I don't know. Whoever
Even
sings it.
Mariah?
And
Yeah.
I've
Even
noticed.
Mariah with Justin Bieber.
You know how they started
Oh, yeah.
comparing? I don't know if you know, but they started comparing Ariana Grande to Mariah and the similar style of
Blasphemy.
singing and how they both do whistle tones, and you can notice that Ariana is really coming after Mariah. She's making those Christmas songs every year, releasing them even earlier. This year, I think it was end of October. She was releasing Christmas songs. I was like, she's really coming after her kid.
Yeah, but you cannot beat Mariah.
No, you can't.
No.
It's Christmas.
But going back to the songs, Vincent, do you have or Vjeran, do you guys have
Not really. I mean, I like when it's Christmas time and I go to my family or I do the decoration, I would put Christmas song playlist on Spotify or things like this. But there's not one. I like Mariah, of course.
I was brainwashed with the same 2 CDs since my early childhood, and my mom loves. I really hope she's gonna listen to this podcast so that she knows to this year tone it down. But she loves the 2 songs. One is those 12 or 21 days of Christmas, and they count it down. And the other one is this Irish one where they curse and where she calls him. It's like they're arguing, and she calls him, "You're a you're a fucking faggot." And they're like, "What? What is going on?" This is a Christmas song, and they're cursing each other out. And "Merry Christmas, you asshole, you bloody."
Okay.
And it was like, I love this Irish. It has this Irish melody and tap dancing. And you're like, yeah, but they're ruining Christmas for each other. They're arguing. That's the point.
I have a favorite one. It's a stupid one, but I love it. It's from Destiny's Child. It's like, 8 days of Christmas, my baby, come to me. No, you don't know it?
Well, I was not born.
Heard it.
Oh, you
I was not
yeah,
born.
okay.
Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yeah.
No, but I was just thinking I don't have songs, but it's kind of a tradition to watch Love Actually for Christmas or
Like
more
Christmas
more
movies.
movies.
Home
yeah.
Alone.
Home Alone.
Harry Potter.
Oh no, Home Alone! I cannot look at it anymore. Like in Hungary, every single
Yeah, in Croatia
Christmas
as well.
evening, it was Home Alone 1.
It's not the sound
First
of
day of
music.
Christmas,
The sound
Home
of
Alone
music.
2.
No?
that was in the afternoon. That was for children, And then it was Home Alone for the I don't know, teenagers or adults or I don't know what.
Well, in France, you have Sissi, the Imperatrice.
yeah,
They were playing it
True,
so
Sissi
for,
as well.
for all winter holidays.
And Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins
And Disney movies. Anyhow, that's inside. But what about outside? We're in Brussels, and then there's those Christmas markets. Here it's like Winter Wonders. Are you going to the Brussels
Zagreb,
Wonders?
my hometown, won the award 2 years in a row for the best Christmas markets in Europe.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
We were talking about Brussels, but thank you.
I would say that in the first years I was in Brussels, I would go.
Yeah.
In the last years, I was going less. I mean, I like the light show on Grand Place.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
Or
Yeah, the
one
light
they
shows are
do,
nice.
The one they do right now near Porte de Namur on the on the
Those
building,
lights
so-
everywhere in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this year it's there, but the Christmas market itself, actually, I think in Brussels it's a little bit the same stance, the same styles every year. So once you've seen them once or twice, you're a bit bored, I would say. But then I would go with friends for a drink. It's a good
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
it
good
is.
way to, it's cold, it's Christmas, but let's just go and have a drink together at the Christmas market, and that's fun.
Especially now with this COVID time when we can't really gather inside, with a lot of people. It's an opportunity to go to this horrible outside stages where you can have the wonderful
Glue wine.
overpriced glue wine and I mean I like the atmosphere, but I think I will visit this year in spirit.
Yeah.
But I don't
Not
know.
in body.
Do they have a queer space for Christmas market? Because it's been thought a few times. Because I remember going to Christmas markets in Germany where there is always LGBTQI+
Yeah, I
space.
saw it in Berlin.
And
You
which
mean
is
like a
usually
queer
Queer
corner
corner.
or
queer
something?
corner with a stage where you can have performances.
Well, next
and
year we will have like a cat chalet.
I went with my family that came to visit me for the first time in Belgium since I moved here, and we went to the Christmas market on the 1st of December, which was also the day of awareness of AIDS, and I cannot say anti-AIDS day, but HIV awareness day. They were giving out condoms, and they were giving out leaflets, and there was a band that were doing a little performance about it. So it was in that sense informative, and it was right next to what we call a gay street, the Pink Street, the gay area of Brussels. Yeah. So it was cool to see it immersed and become as an integral part of the Christmas market. That was cool.
But maybe we should, for next year we should
bring
actually
Mariah.
demand a little bit more space for queer people within the Christmas market. I don't know, maybe we can launch a kind of a petition or a program, or talk with someone, like talk with the managers and create something a little bit more visible, because I think that would be very, very, very nice to see.
Being queer outside. But what about when we're inside? Bogat, do you have some tips for books or series that we can read or watch next to the fireplace?
Yes, well, as you mentioned, I'm more of a Grinch myself, but what I brought to you and to everyone today, it's a recommendation for poems. So it's a collection of poems from a gay author, a gay poet called Frank O'Hara. And his book is called The Collected Poems of Frank O'Hara. It's a posthumous edition edited by Donald Allen in 1971. So Frank O'Hara was an American writer, poet, critic, and curator at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And why I like his poems is because they're very much autobiographical, but at the same time, it's like small observation about everyday life in New York City, and it feels like or reads like diary entries from his life, but it's about the mundane world, about ordinary people, ordinary things in New York. Also with a lot of pop culture icons, celebrities, artists from the era of the 50s and the 60s. And it feels like very nostalgic about New York life in that specific era. So it's perfect if you read the poems and you have some hot cocoa and you put some Lana Del Rey in the background and you can have a nice blanket and just chill. Yes.
Nice. But then, what about music, Vjeran? do we have to listen to a specific album when we're watching the fabulous Christmas tree?
No, for sure not. You don't have to listen to anything and nothing in particular, but I do have a great recommendation of we already called her a queen of the Belgian radio, or the princess of Brussels, and we already recommended her in this show, but now we're recommending her because she has a new album out just a few days ago. We're recommending Angèle again with her album Non Sang. It's a really, really cool, interesting album. It goes into this retro disco-ish vibe with an Angèle take on it. If you've ever listened to an Angèle song, then I'm sure you know how it sounds. But it's really nice and friendly and familiar with really cute and cool lyrics. I know that you've appreciated it as well. And Bogat, you told me something about her moving the album earlier because she's had COVID just before we started this. So what was it about?
Yeah, so the album should have been released a little bit later, even maybe 2020.
No, I think it was
End of December was it scheduled. Yeah.
But according to her, she got COVID and she got really bored, and she wanted to work in a way, and so she moved every single stone in Brussels and turned every single stone to find a solution to bring her album a little bit bring the album out a little bit earlier. So yeah, it's thanks to COVID that we have an early Angèle album.
And she has a lovely song where she sings about COVID and how she misses being on stage and being with the people, but she knows that once she's all together with them, then it's all the same and the feeling is mutual.
Sweet.
Very, very, very lovely. And apparently she also has a Netflix documentary out. So now she's really everywhere, just like Adele. You know, once they release something, it's coming out of the pate.
Thing today. Yeah. She's the thing.
She's the thing.
Angèle, Adele, sounds the same. No, I really prefer Angèle, I have to say.
Yeah. I love the duet that Angèle did with Dula Pipa. I love it. I love it.
Anyhow, guys, you know what? We are at the end of this first episode of season 2. So thank you to Visit Brussels for supporting KET Magazine and KET Talks. And of course, thank you, Vincent, Bogat and Vjeran. It's always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the new episodes of this season. And I hope that you two who are listening to us also had a good time. So if you want to stay tuned on what's happening in Brussels, check the website ket.brussels and also our Instagram account and Facebook page. So dearest listeners, whatever you will celebrate at the end of this year, I just hope you will be able to celebrate it just as you are, which means beautiful.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas.